wish to engage. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do that you're taking care of to identify yourself. Having covered that, I would then now be prepared to move to the agenda. And I would look for a motion to approve the agenda as previously circulated.
So moved. Second.
Seconded.
Either or.
All those in favor,
Whichever.
all those in favor by roll call. Mark. Diane,
Aye.
Kim,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Is Neville here yet?
No.
Okay. And
Yes,
chair
he
vote-
is. He's here.
All right, he votes aye and the chair votes aye. The approval of minutes of July 19th. The minutes of July 19th have been circulated. If there are no questions or corrections or changes to it, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Oh, I thought we already did that.
Moved by Tim.
Just one change, Ken.
What?
Just one change on the minutes.
Okay,
Correction of the spelling for Eleanor's last name.
You have it right in a lot of places. It just was a few places it was wrong.
okay.
So moved.
Other than that, is you accept that amendment, Tim?
Yes.
And Linda second?
Yeah.
All those in favor by roll call, Mark,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
correctly spelled Antonetti,
Aye.
Trudell,
Aye.
and Neville, and the
Aye.
chair votes aye. There's no correspondence and no guests. Item number one is the fund requisitions that, as we didn't have the meeting in August, we made the payments and we agreed to ratify those. So could I have a motion to ratify the payments that were made to the Interfaith Council in August in the amount of $17,651.64? So moved, seconded.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Mark,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Neville. Chair votes aye. Then the fund requisitions for this month, items A, B, C, D, E, and F as indicated in the agenda. I would entertain a motion for the approval of those payments.
So moved.
Moved by Linda and seconded
Tim.
by Tim. Okay, roll call. Mark,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Neville, and chair votes aye. The next issue is the update on signage, and I think that Linda Williams is going to give us an update in terms of what we need to do relative to getting the signs approved by the HTC. Linda?
No, we're not going to go to the HDC. There is a limit on size, which would work perfectly for what we've approved. That does not have to go to the HDC, particularly if they're inside.
Okay.
So that has to be ascertained as to what's inside, what's outside. And I've got to reaffirm what that size of the sign is that does not need HDC approval, because that's what we're doing.
Okay, all right. Because we're finally getting to the point where we're going to be able to really put together a team to be able to work with all the people we've made allocations to over the years. And the next item is the new business of the applications received. You have all received that from Glenna, and this is going to be a really very, very interesting year for us, because in fact, the total amount of the requests that we've received are $2,219,498. The CPC allocation with respect to the surcharge is $2,944,565 and 3 cents, I think. In any event, we will have more money that we have available without, in fact, going to any reserves at this point in time relative to the requests. But that doesn't mean that we have to accept all the requests in full. We still go through the process of looking at the requests, making sure that they're appropriate. And then one of the things I've been thinking about is that as we look as if we're going to have some additional funding, I'm thinking of suggesting that we make 2 additional extra bond payments on our bonds this period, because of the fact that will reduce the number of years that we have to take that $700,000 out. And I've talked to Brian Turbot, and he thinks that is a really good idea with respect to us.
Question, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
question
Lynn.
before we move past that part. Every year we get an updated amount closer to November. Is that the money we're working with right now, or are we expecting more money because of the surcharge between now and when we normally get the final number in November?
The thing is that I think that if the history is true, it looks as if there might be additional monies, but that in fact doesn't have to be spent. It can be put into the undesignated reserves for us for use moving forward other years. With respect to the reserved accounts, there's virtually nothing in any of the reserved accounts. We've used those up over the years. I'm still waiting for a final number from Brian Turbot with respect to the money that's in our reserve accounts. You will recall that we have over the years kept somewhere between $500,000 to $800,000 in the reserve for if in fact something happens that we get nothing whatsoever, so that we're still in a position to be able to move forward with respect to this. By the time that we get around to making recommendations, we will have a number from finance in terms of what the undesignated reserves are and what's reasonable for us to think about in terms of having available for us. Probably not for this year, but in future years as well. So that's going to be really very helpful as we move forward.
Mr. Chair, if I may, a question?
Yes, John.
Or actually not even a question, just a comment and curiosity. Is it I know last year was a little bit different. We had a new application, and it was for a decent amount. It was for the Nantucket Racquet Club, and we look to kind of create or look in the community to see what we can do to ask if there's any willing, able, and applicant that would be able to receive our funding. And I see the same people with the same requests, and I know it's needed, but I'm wondering if we should do more to try and create more interest in applying with different grants. And again, I'm not taking away anything from the applicants that have submitted, and there's still the process. We'll still review and see what's needed and how much we can allocate and pay down the bond with extra money. But I'm just wondering if we should be doing more to look out in the community to see if there are applicants that can use these funds.
It's a valid question, John, and I was really surprised at the limited number of applications this year, because I met with at least 4 or 5 other organizations, talking to them about it, explaining to them about it, giving them the situation with respect to, for instance, with respect to the new project on Wirral Lane for the students. I in fact took them through chapter and verse in terms of what they could do with the tennis court and how they could use what we've done before out on Noverdeer, but they just didn't have the time and the people necessary to be able to put projects forward. So I think the fact is that we're reaching out to them, we're providing guidance and stuff like that, but there is concern that our process is not an easy process. It's a fairly complicated process, and it takes time and manpower to be able to do it. And so I was frustrated because, in fact, at the end of the day, I called them and I said, geez, we haven't seen anything. They said, well, we just couldn't get to it. So there has been an active reach out, and I think that each of us as commissioners has an obligation to reach out to try to see whether or not other organizations are there, because there is space to be able to do it. So I see Neville's hand at first, and then I'll raise Eleanor's hand.
Linda's hand was first. Linda was first and then Neville.
Okay, sorry.
All right, I have worked with 4 other projects and they told me the same thing. They just did not, because they're either down on staff or they just didn't have time with the regular jobs to get, actually 6 projects, to get their projects together. You know, I said, we're here to help, the staff is here to help. And they started the process, couldn't finish it. And so I expect to see them next year because we're going to start working on them in this fall, just to get the basics done. So they're ready to go next year. But none of them had time. It's been a crazy summer. And that was their reasoning for not being able to get them in. So they are out there. They just, because of the dynamics of this summer, did not have the time.
Yeah. Who's next? Glenn?
Yeah. That's not the
Neville.
reason.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, no.
if I may, everybody's probably gonna get angry with me.
Neville, I can't hear you. You're not clear.
Everyone will probably get angry with me when I say what I'm gonna say. Can you hear me?
No, I couldn't hear you. Please come closer to the microphone.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. I was on the committee in the beginning and I came back on. Part of the thing about this committee that got me excited about it was that every single member of this committee had an obligation to go out into the community and find projects, see what projects we can work with the people. That was our job. The same thing with the signage and everything else. That was our responsibility. And we also had an obligation for everyone who came onto the committee to come into the office and get that whole list of things that we have. I know it's still around here, of what our obligation was to the community. We work for the community. And it shows a beautiful guideline. It's just about what we do every day. That's why we serve the community. We walk around town, we look at things, we talk to people. That's how we get people interested in what we're doing. That's how we will get people interested in coming to our forums, which is another extension into like informing the community as to like what we do, so that they will become interested. We have had projects here, even the one on India Street that did not work out with the condo unit, which was a historical thing. Some work out, some does not work out. If they fall within the category of what we do, we are here to help fund them. But we also have to go out and reach out to the community. That's our obligation. That's it.
Thank you. Eleanor?
Go ahead, Glenna.
Okay. Just wanted to speak to John's concern of, is there anything else that we could do to get the word out? As you know, we do have the annual public forum. The information is on the town website, which stays there year round. And to speak to what Ken stated, we did have inquiries. People did come into the office, and I sat down with quite a few people and explained the process to them, which is very extensive. And to what Linda said, people just didn't have the staff or the resources to pull their applications together in a timely fashion to submit them. And so I think that played, those different dynamics played a lot into the number of applications that we received this year, because in prior years, we received 20 to 25. So if you have any other suggestions for getting the word out, we're open to them, but we also, we hand out the flyer at the annual town meeting, as well as post it throughout the town, and we do an email blast to over, I think, 800 community residents with the NCTV 18 channel. So we are reaching out. We don't know if there's anything more that we can do. Just wanted to speak to that and just shed a little bit of light on what is being done to get the word out.
Eleanor?
Well, some of my questions have kind of been answered indirectly, but I wanted to know, when I was a zoning administrator, there were lots of people who didn't know how to fill out the applications, and I would help them. I'm assuming, Glenna, you were you help people when they have, it seems insurmountable tasks, because I know, because some applications can be complicated. I see it's, and I've noticed over the years, kind of along with what John said, that it does seem to be repeat, you know, I don't want to say recidivist because that's the wrong word, but repeat requisitions. I would like to see, obviously, coming from where I'm coming from, a little more open space stuff. And I'm wondering, Glenn, if I'll touch base with you after, if I could get a list of past open space requisitions and so forth, so that I could kind of get a lay of the proverbial land on that. If I'm going to play my part, my role, that's probably where I'm going to seek out to help people and steer people in the right direction. But can I assume that you are available to help people navigate the application process? I know
Absolutely.
you're busy, so I don't want to make any assumptions, but.
No, absolutely. We are. We have, and we are available to help them navigate through the application process. And there is a very large spreadsheet that shows all the projects that CPC has supported over the years. And that's even more extensive. If you come into the office, you can see it on the board, but it is something that I can share with you, but just keep in mind that it is a very large spreadsheet. So you're not going to be able to fit it on your screen, not unless you have an enormous screen, or if you minimize it so that the spreadsheet fits on just the one.
And Eleanor, while the projects may not be identical, we have 250 or more projects that we've done over the years. And you're very often you're going to find one that's reasonably close to it. And because these are public documents, you make the entire file available to the person to help them understand what needs to be done and walk them through. And so I mean, the fact is that I mean, I expected another 8 or 10 projects this year, as Linda said, because we reached out to these people, and it was simply the fact that with this crazy summer and everything like that, they just didn't have the time, the staff to get to do it. And as Linda said, we're going to work with a number of these people to see about what we can do for next year. Because the fact is that there are a number of areas out there that are of interest that haven't been done before, or similar to what's been done before, that we can reshape to be able to fit within the guidelines, the state guidelines.
And I have one more quick question. I mean, I think it sounds like you're doing a lot in terms of outreach. I think there's probably always more that could be done, but it's so many humans, you know, and time in that effort. But are we doing anything on social media? You said NCTV, that's great.
Well, when we do the annual public forum, that gives a overview of the project, the application process, and they send out an email blast, as well as it is announced on their channel 18 station. We do the radio station ad, we do the flyers, we do handouts at the annual town meeting.
I'm talking about things like Instagram and stuff. You know, I mean, Instagram gets a lot of traffic.
Right.
But you want to be very careful to what you wish for, because the fact of the matter is that we have fairly significant constraints with respect to the areas that we are able to create awards for. So
right,
it needs to be a clear understanding with respect to the 3 categories.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying to sort of showcase the wonderful things that have happened thanks to the CPC and draw attention to it. And then maybe someone's like,
right,
oh,
yeah. We don't do Instagram. We don't do social media in that format.
It's a lot of management. So I can see why you're a one-man show. So I can see why you don't have the time. I just was wondering.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, so now we go to the next item, which is the scheduling of some dates for our hearings. We have 6 applications. So these are all ones that have been here before, so we only need to schedule half an hour for each one of them. Have you looked at some times that might work that you can suggest and send out so that we can calendar and then figure out and do this sooner rather than later? Because this should be fairly straightforward and give us some time to think about how to flush out, how to spend some of the funds, particularly with respect to the housing.
I am not here that first week of October, 3rd to the 7th.
In past years, we have started as early well, I don't know that anybody will have time to do it next week, but we have started the last week in September, if folks were available and able to go through their applications, or one or two of them within that time frame.
Said mid, I'm sorry, mid what?
The last week in September, there have been times when we've scheduled one or two interview sessions for that time frame, if folks were available for it, and if they had the time. And seeing that we do have a minimal amount of applications this year, it's just 7, and they've all been before, in past years. It's only going to take 30 minutes. So I didn't know if anyone wanted to start the last week of September, or if we want to wait until that second week in October, since Linda has stated that.
The last week in September, is that a Friday? That would be available?
The 30th, yeah.
Yeah, the 30th.
I'm open that day for now.
Unfortunately, I'm not available that week, Ken. I apologize.
What about the first week of, the second week of October? Because
That's gonna, well, it would have to start on October 11th, because the 10th is a holiday.
I'm wide open that week.
Third one, the 10th.
I'm open that week.
well, let's figure out, let's schedule, see about scheduling it that week then.
At what time is it going to be, in the morning? Mornings, or the HTC is now meeting at 4 o'clock, which means,
No, my recommendation would be in the morning, so that
okay, that's what I thought it was. Can I ask you one question? I didn't want to interrupt before. If somebody's going to make an application to the CPC and say that they are all the stuff that they're supposed to be, are there questions that they must be prepared to answer, that says about how they do their finances and what their program is and how it's working out? Are those part of the things we got to know?
that's part of the information that they have to file with their application. It's fairly straightforward, laid out on the website in terms of the type of information that they need to provide. If they have any questions, they can call Glenna.
Yeah.
We'll be able to fill it in.
Well, I just didn't want to be so stupid, because I've been asked a couple of times about places, and I wanted to give them as best information as I could to begin with.
You know, there has to be financial information with respect to A, the nature of what they're spending, and B, their overall financial information to show that they're capable of, in fact, carrying through the project.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna tentatively schedule for October 11 in the morning,
Great.
and do all 7 that morning, and that should be enough lead time for the organizations to be able to coordinate their activity.
Great.
Okay.
Just a question, Mr. Chairman.
Glenna,
Wait,
you'll
did you
send-
say October 7th or 11?
11. Okay, and Glenna, you'll send.
That's like
me
a
up-
3-hour meeting about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not a great day for me because I have land bank that night, but I'll make it work.
okay, Glenna, you'll send out a Zoom to a Zoom for that day and that time
Yes,
right away, so that our calendars get blocked.
right. So October 11th at 10 o'clock, we want to start, or do we want to start at 9?
Let's start at 9 so that we
Okay.
have enough time.
Is it going to be by Zoom?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Question, Mr. Chairman. Through
Yes,
you,
Linda.
staff. Do we have a simple checklist? I only deal with the actual applications. I've never noticed if we have a detailed checklist that I can start handing out to my guys to get their stuff together.
There is a checklist on the website.
Okay, because I just want them, they sort of go right to the application and go, oh my God, don't have time. But if they
Right.
start assembling stuff now based on that checklist, can you send me just the checklist and I will send it out to my guys?
It's on the website, Linda. It's a welcome, and it's 1 page, and it includes the checklist. It's on the town website.
All right, I keep telling them to go to the website, but somehow that just doesn't work.
Well, you go to the website, print it off and shoot it out to them.
Yeah, because I think that once they start amassing this stuff now.
Yeah.
That might be very helpful to them, because I know some of them have to go out to bid, because 2 of them are town. 4 of them are town.
Good. Okay.
Okay, so to recap, we are going to have the meeting on October 11th at 9 o'clock. Are we going to try to review all of the applications
Yes.
that day? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's my birthday.
Also, Mr. Chair, if I may make a suggestion, I know we're allowing 30 minutes for each, but maybe there would be a couple of applicants scheduled that have come to us before. And a lot of it, even though it's a new application, will be kind of familiar to us. So we might not take the full 30 minutes for each party. So if there are some applicants that are in the hopper ready to speak earlier than their allotted timeframe, we might be able to speed up the process, and instead of having 3.5 hours, it might come down to 2.5 hours, because applicants, if they're ready to speak, we don't have to wait the full 30 minutes in order for them to start the
Okay, well,
presentation.
then we need to make a determination, those that we're comfortable with in terms of doing 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And because I think that we should give at least 20 minutes to everybody. 10
Sure.
minutes to And so, go ahead.
What we've done in the past also, John, is when we have one of the applicants before us, the next one in queue, we'll tell them to be ready and be prepared, because if it finishes early, they can jump right in. And so that does shorten the time.
Right. I agree. And if we need to state something, instead of the 30 minutes, we can maybe put something general. You will be provided 20 to 30 minutes to make your presentation. And also, if there are people scheduled for 11:30, maybe, again, if we finish early, we might sit around and wait 40 minutes because everyone had finished early for that 11:30 check-in, just to have them maybe in the hopper ready to
Right.
speak earlier.
Yes.
I like the efficiency. That's good.
And maybe instead of talking about 20 to 30 minutes, talk to them, we expected them to make their presentation in 10 minutes and about 10 minutes of conversation from the staff.
Okay.
So that we create an expectation of a 20-minute window as opposed to a 30-minute window.
Right.
Yeah, streamline it. We're all in meetings all the time, right?
Yeah,
I think we're all on the same page. Thank you.
okay. Anything else for today that needs to come up? If not, I will then entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor by roll call. Let me find your names again. Mark,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Eleanor,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Neville,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you very much. I think this has been a very productive meeting, and this is going to be a very interesting meeting where we finally have more money than we have requests. But remember, just because of that doesn't mean that we have to grant every request. We need to be very careful with respect to making sure that it fits within the guidelines of what we're allowed to do and doesn't include any of the things that we're not allowed to provide for. Thank you very much, and meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Bye-bye.